before. I can't take it anymore. Watching Smackdown live on Tuesdays. Brian always fades out during TNA.
What's happening, everybody? It is the Figure 4 Daily Show with Filthy Tom Lawler. September 12, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Can I get something off my chest right now, Tom? It actually has nothing to do with you, but it has to do with this show.
Okay.
So, apparently, we have some people listening to this right now that are big fans. They really like this show. However, somehow they're big fans, but they also have no idea what's going on with this show. The explanation being that when Lance was on the show on Friday, like, people thought you had been fired again. Oh my God, where's Filthy? I can't believe he's gone. I'm like, do you fucking listen to the show? Like, okay, if you don't listen to the show, then I can understand you being confused as to why you weren't on the air last week and Lance was, okay, if you're not a listener. But if you are a listener, like, hello, at least once a month, Filthy is gone because he has to do MLW. I mean, this is not something new. Why are people baffled by this? We should just throw out your MLW dates at the beginning of every show so that people won't be scared and flabbergasted when you don't show up on a particular week and think, for some reason, that you've been fired.
Did Dave get fired on Saturday?
Hey, I'm sure somebody was like, oh my God, Dave's never doing the weekend show again. He's been fired.
Tom Lawler's
taking over for Dave.
He's taking over the Observer.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I just don't get it. It's mind-boggling. Like, I understand some weirdo on Twitter just wondering if you've been fired, but like, if you listen to this show, how can you not know that once per month you're not going to be on because you're flying out to do MLW? It's just weird to me. And like, if they're not listening, then who gives a shit if you're fired or not, right?
I suppose.
Yeah. If they're not listening, then what does it matter whether you've been fired? It doesn't. So I don't know, it's just weird to me. Now let's get on to Smackdown. We got a lot to get into here today. We got Smackdown. We got the chopping block. Oh, we got Miz and Mrs. I forgot about that. And we've got a food review, so we got to get going. There's too much to talk about.
First, Brian.
Yes.
I'm running by my kids.
Yeah, this happens all the time. Get out of here, Tom, you idiot. You pulled this bullshit on Saturday, which is before we went on the air. Tom. Get fucking King Orca off the line and do the Smackdown report.
All right.
What do you think this is? There's a lot of stuff going on in the whale world, Tom. Don't make light of it. There's whales dying.
What?
There's a whale that's dying right now, and they're thinking of capturing the whale to try to save it.
Most whales are dying.
No, I mean, right? This whale's like days away from death. And now they're thinking about like grabbing the whale out of the water and trying to rehab it, and people are furious. They want the whale to die with its family, and it's just it's crazy right now. All this whale drama.
Huh.
Yeah, follow it on the Whale Scout podcast, everybody, iTunes. All right, here we go.
I used to have some different whale drama of my own back in my Chubby Chaser days.
Okay, can we get going?
All right. So at the onset of the show, we had a 9/11 tribute and an 11-bell ring, of course, for the victims of the horrific 9/11 tragedy in 2001. There was also somebody in the crowd had a sign that said Brock Fears Gladiators Academy.
Oh, yeah?
Being in Lafayette, Louisiana, I knew exactly what they were talking about, and that is Tim Crater's gym.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think Brock fears that gym.
I wonder if that was Tim Crater himself.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Could have been.
So we opened up with Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. What we really opened up with was a Jeff Hardy promo. It was in ways completely forgettable, yet serviceable in every way. And despite there being cat calls from girls during the entire time, this went on for so long, I forgot that there was a match upcoming. I thought he was just there doing a promo.
You know what's weird about the promo, by the way, is in storyline, Tom, in storyline. Like, if you remember back to 1997, Shawn Michaels kept screwing The Undertaker and screwing The Undertaker and screwing The Undertaker, and finally The Undertaker got him in the Hell in a Cell, where there was no escape for Shawn. He was doomed. That was the storyline back then. The storyline in 2018 is Jeff really wants to have a Hell in a Cell match. That's literally the storyline. What's happened to wrestling? That's your cue to keep talking.
Yeah, I get it.
You distracted again? What's going on over there?
I was thinking of all the things that are wrong with wrestling.
Okay. You were like so on the ball Saturday night at 11 a.m. and it's 3 in the afternoon and you're half asleep here today. I don't know what's going on.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead.
All right. So Nakamura powders to the outside to begin, and upon returning, he is met with a jawbreaker and a number of strikes, leading to a leaping tackle from Hardy off of the steps. We go to a commercial, and of course, we return with Nakamura in control. And I love this new pattern of going to commercial, coming back, and us never seeing what leads to the heat. Because now, as a heel, you don't even have to think of a good creative cutoff spot.
Dude, I've been ranting about this for a while, and I got more to say when you get to the end here, but keep going.
So Nakamura locks in a modified neck hold, and Jeff starts to fight. He starts to fire up, and how's he do it? He goes back to the old standby. Brian, he starts. He starts clapping, and he's clapping, and he's clapping because when you have a guy like Nakamura, a trained martial artist, man who's fought many mixed martial arts fights, around your neck, that's the best thing to do. Start clapping your hands. Thankfully, Nakamura knees the shit out of him, and then it delivers some kicks. Jeff fights back with a sling blade, lands a whisper in the wind. Nakamura gives chase as Nakamura gave chase. Jeff then goes up top, and it cost him as Nakamura kneed him, put him on top of the ropes, kneed him some more, kicked him to the floor from the apron. We go to a commercial once again. We come back, and now Jeff is in control. Lands a low drop kick for a 2 count. What the fuck's going on here? Nakamura kicks him in the head, boot scrapes him, the back of his skull, lands a knee, sets up for the Kinshasa, but is met with a schoolboy, a twist of fate. Jeff takes an eternity setting up on the top rope for Randy Orton to run in and attack him for the DQ. Orton then grabs a chair, lays down a beating. Jeff's able to fight back and delivers some chair-assisted blows to Randy as well, followed by a twist of fate and a swanton bomb as Jeff kneels tall in the ring and the Viper slithers up the entranceway.
So should I do the positive first or the negative?
Let's end with the negative.
All right. The positive is I like this match. Thought they did a good job. It wasn't like a great match or anything, but Jeff looked good. Nakamura looked good. I thought it was a fine television match, a good opener. Now the negative. Actually, first I'll do the funny thing about it. So Jeff goes up top for the senton, and Randy Orton's going to run in, but they want you to be surprised, okay? So in order to surprise you, they zoom in on Jeff Hardy's feet. So like all you can see are his fucking feet. So it's patently obvious somebody's running in because they're getting as tight a shot as possible so you can't see it. So he goes up there, they zoom in on his fucking feet, and then Randy Orton appears, he throws him off, it's a DQ, and the announcers have to say, where did he come from? Like, he just appeared out of thin air. The reality is he ran in right in front of the fucking announcers, but they have to pretend that they can only see Jeff Hardy's feet too. That's funny. Now the negative. Like Tom said, how the fuck can you tell a story but take out the massive negative issue that occurs in the middle of the story that the entire fucking story is built around? Like, how are we supposed to care about Jeff Hardy selling if we don't even know what happened to put him in this predicament? It's preposterous.
Yeah. He could have like kneed Nakamura in the nuts during the break and then been showboating and just got put in a neck hold.
Yeah. You're watching a movie and the man and the woman
take out like 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, the man and the woman are all happy, but then like there's a massive car wreck and the wife is killed. And now the husband needs to deal with this throughout the rest of the movie. Imagine if that fucking part of the movie wasn't even in there, where like the man and the woman are all happy, and then all of a sudden he's just really sad. You don't know where his wife is. You don't know what the fuck happened, but you're supposed to care. That's what getting rid of the heat is. So then on top of that,
Even Bucky Larson didn't do that garbage.
hell no. At least, yeah, Bucky Larson, they told us a better story than this bullshit with taking out the heat. And then the other thing is, it's not really their fault, but there were 2 commercial breaks during this match, both at completely random times. It's impossible to care about a match when they go to commercial and you don't know what happened in the commercial and they come back and just like shit's happening. This happened twice during this match. It killed the flow and it made it impossible for me to care about what I was watching. There should be a commercial break, maybe one time during the heat, and that's it. Preferably no commercial break during your fucking match. But the thing is, it's so important to them to show everybody's full entrance that the entrance takes precedent over the story of the fucking wrestling match.
Well, I got no problem with that.
Well, if it's Carmella's entrance, I can understand, but...
Well, I'm an entrance guy.
Anyway.
Always have been, right?
Miz and Maurice promo.
What?
Yes, Tom. You have always been an entrance guy. But guess what? No one on this show is you. I'd rather see their matches than their entrances.
But you'd rather see my entrances than my matches?
Well, it depends on the fight. Sometimes.
So we have the main event of Brie Bella and Maurice was plugged for tonight. Kayla introduces the Miz and Maurice, but Miz interrupts and forces her to introduce Maurice first. Then Kayla asks about the match. Maurice says it took Daniel Bryan 3 years to come back, and it only took her 5 months to come back after the birth of Monroe Sky. Miz says Brie had to come back to the ring because Daniel can't hold up his end of the bargain anymore, and then they take off. I enjoyed the recurring appearances here of Kayla. I think it added something like a new flow to the show.
Yeah, she's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So enjoy her while you can, because they'll robot her up before too long, I'm sure.
I've seen some attractive robots now. And some lifelike ones. They could do some really impressive things. Technology.
AJ Styles did a promo. Tell us about it.
I have no notes on it.
Oh my God.
Actually.
He's sitting there on the ring apron. Says he has a family. He'd never mess with somebody else's family. It's all going along great. And then he goes, Joe's strength is running his mouth and intimidation. And also being a real piece of garbage. It's just terrible. So anyway, he's going to show how phenomenal he really is. It's a house AJ Styles built. It's not for rent. It's damn sure not for sale. Aside from the line where he had to stop himself from saying shit, this was good.
Yeah, but it doesn't advance anything. It's kind of worthless.
Yeah, they just have to do something for this match. I mean, they don't have to, but in their mind, they have to. So this is what we get. This and the Fable, which we'll get to.
So Charlotte then took on Sonya Deville. Charlotte with a quick promo backstage with the aforementioned Kayla, where she says that she requested this match tonight because Becky says that she takes away opportunities. However, she's naturally competitive, and here she's giving an opportunity to Sonya. I thought this did nothing really to make Charlotte more of a heel, and I'll get to that a little bit later as we go, too.
Can we tell you about the best part of this match, by the way, before the match even started?
Mandy Rose?
No, it's even better than Mandy Rose. So Charlotte does her entrance, okay? They go to commercial. They come back from commercial. The announcers send us to a recap of Raw. They recap Raw. They send us back to the announcers, and now they're announcing the lineup for the Hell in a Cell. Finally, they go back to Charlotte. If you were in the building, Tom, Charlotte made her entrance and then had to stand in the ring for 7, I'm not making this up, 7 straight minutes she stood there in the ring before Sonya Deville made her entrance. It's just mind-blowing.
True professional.
Yes, she is.
So Charlotte, oh yeah, okay. So Mandy Rose was, of course, with Sonya, as we mentioned. They did some sloppy mat wrestling to start, and then little bit more, some sloppy wrestling to continue. These two just were not on the same page during this match. Sonya almost got her knees up on Charlotte's moonsault. Then she hit a twisting spine buster to what was the opposite side of what is normally done. Sonya then landed a flying triangle during a strike exchange, which Charlotte powered out of, attempted to bounce her off the top rope, but instead almost threw her between the ropes, and then turned her and landed a sit-out power bomb, put on the figure eight, got the win. Charlotte's over, high-fiving the fans, and she takes a pic with some little girls before Becky Lynch in disguise attacks from the crowd, and there was a faint Becky chant, but the reaction here was quite sad, I thought, in comparison to how over she was a few weeks ago.
They're fucking it all up.
The turn. They're
fucking it all up. They fucked it up and she got over because of it, but now they're trying to get her over, and so they're messing everything up. That's what's happening here. Like, Charlotte goes in there against a heel who nobody really cares about. It's Sonya Deville. So, like, there's no way Sonya's going to get cheered.
Whoa. I care about it.
No. Tom, bear with me here. Nobody else cares about Sonya. So, like, no one's going to cheer her over Charlotte. So, of course, Charlotte gets cheered the entire match. She wins clean in the middle with a submission. Not the move where she attacks somebody from behind. She actually submits this girl. Then she goes over and she's high-fiving and signing autographs and taking pictures with little children. And Becky attacks her while she's signing autographs for little children. I mean, hello? No shit she didn't get a huge babyface reaction. Like, could you possibly have come up with a dumber fucking scenario to get Becky cheered than this one right here? I couldn't even believe my eyes. And yeah, nobody cared. And the match, my God, it was rough. I mean, for fuck's sake, Tom. Like, you're a former UFC fighter and a black belt, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have a match with, pick just a random guy that you've had a match with recently, who is none of those things that I just said. Pick somebody. Throw out a name.
Robert Gibson.
Robert Gibson, okay? If you get in there with Robert Gibson, is the fucking match going to start out with Robert Gibson out wrestling and out grappling you? Fuck no! Charlotte gets in there with Sonya, and like, the one thing Sonya has on Charlotte in storyline is she's a shooter. Well, what happens? Charlotte just gets in there, she starts out wrestling Sonya. I was like, dude, I don't get wrestling anymore. I'm lost. And it was all downhill from there. But thankfully, next was Samoa Joe.
Well, keep going. It sounds like you wanted to talk about it earlier with the Fable.
I just want to mention that he had a bedtime story.
Oh, yeah.
They put him in front of a backdrop.
Seated backstage, reading us a bedtime story named Night Night AJ. He has a book with him. He opens it up. It plays animated footage of AJ in the ring running wild while he reads
That's a cool book.
It was pretty sweet.
I wish they'd made those for us, for our children.
He continues to weave through the book. The story shifts to include Joe beating up on AJ. AJ's family is being distraught by these actions. And Joe says he'll be their new daddy, and then it eventually leads to him grabbing the coquina clutch at Hell in a Cell. And the final page of this book contained a drawn image of Joe with the WWE title belt around his left shoulder and Wendy and AJ Styles over his right shoulder looking on in approval.
Well, the one negative I will say at the very beginning is this feud does not need bedtime stories nor fables. But Joe is like the one guy in the entire promotion that could have made this work. He's the only guy. Nobody else could have pulled this off. It would have been horrible. But he managed to do it.
Nakamura?
Nah, he doesn't speak enough English. He couldn't read a whole book. Take all of Smackdown.
The best part.
Hell yeah.
So then we had the Bar take on Rusev Day, and Aiden English absolutely killed it here at the intro and changed his cadence to a much more crowd-friendly, sing-songy feel as he introduced Rusev Day at the beginning. New Day was back at their custom commentary booth.
Yeah, what'd you think of this?
Hated it.
It seriously makes me question what I'm doing with my life. Am I the only one?
I like pancakes, but complete with pancakes and batter galore, which Big E, much to his credit, made pancakes the entire time. I don't know how long this match was, but the Bar out-wrestled Rusev early on, but Aiden English made a blind tag and proved his worth with a kick, a spinning neck breaker, an assisted flip dive to the outside onto the bar, and then a mistimed DDT between him and Sheamus inside the ring. The Bar then distracted English from the outside, and it allowed Sheamus to strike English to take control. Rusev got the hot tag, landed a spin kick, followed by a roundhouse, applied the accolade, which is broken up by Sheamus. Rusev leaps at Cesaro in the corner, but he is met with an uppercut, followed by it was like a half suplex. Sheamus was going for a suplex. Cesaro was going for a DDT, and Rusev just crashed to the mat. Sheamus then set up for the bro kick, but Aiden pushes Rusev out of the way and takes the bullet for him, allowing Rusev to land a Machka kick, gives Rusev Day the big win and a tag title shot at Hell in a Cell.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Cool finish.
There was a Ronda Alexa video package, and Brian, I got a question.
Yeah.
Do they show SmackDown video recaps on Raw?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
I mean, maybe here and there that I skip, but I don't think they do, actually.
Because I notice it every week here on SmackDown.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Yeah.
So then we had R-Truth take on Andrade Cien Almas, and due to their pairing up in the mixed match challenge, I guess, it appears Carmella is now a baby face.
Yeah.
And she accompanies R-Truth to the ring.
No turn. Like nothing. Like all of a sudden she's just a baby face and she's hooked up with Truth. Like all of those months of Mela is money and fucking people left and right and all of that. Like nothing. Now she's just a baby face.
I wasn't in on that.
I know, Tom.
Listen, more Carmella on the screen, the better off we are. Put her in the main event spot, wrestling.
No, you know what? Keep her where she is right now, a very attractive manager. There are a lot of other girls that can do great wrestling. She's not one of them.
Oh, she's fine. She's serviceable.
No.
So, okay. She's better than some.
One.
She's better than one.
Maybe
that's
two.
It. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, that's about it.
I want to know who the two are.
You're blinded by your lust, Tom.
No, who are
Admit
the two?
it.
The only thing I have a lust for is life.
She is
Who are the
better.
two?
She is better than. I think about this. Lana. I'll give you that one.
Okay, so that's one for sure.
And
Sonya.
no, she's not better than Sonya. Sonya's better now.
Mandy?
Mandy's way better.
Naya.
Oh man, that's close. I think Naya's better. I've seen Naya have a
Tamina.
dude, she's better than Tamina. No, Tamina's better than she is. I'm sorry. Tamina's better.
Who else?
I can't think of another one.
There's definitely more.
I'll keep thinking. You keep going. I'll look through the women's roster. Talk about this match.
So, Andrade started off with the tried and true strategy, Brian, of chopping before landing a brutal-looking back handspring kick to the head of Truth. Truth fired back with a kick of his own, a leaping forearm into the corner. Andrade wraps himself up into the ropes, does this tranquilo pose. Zelina pops up to the apron underneath him, hits the same pose until Carmella comes over, pulls Zelina out of the ring, and Almas is able to reverse R-Truth's roll-up attempt with a handful of the pants for good measure to get the 1-2-3 and win the wrestling contest.
Well, I'm looking at this list here, and literally it begins and ends with
Maurice.
Lana. Yeah, she's better than Maurice. I'll give her that. But I mean, Maurice has been out of action for 8 years. Give Maurice 6 months. I'm sure she's better than Carmella.
Really?
Probably, yeah. Anyway, the other thing I want to say about this match is, have I mentioned I'm a big fan of R-Truth? This guy, Tom, I don't know if I could honestly say that he could pass for a man half of his own age, okay? But it's probably pretty close. He's 46 years old. He doesn't look 46. He doesn't move like he's 46. They got to just do something with this guy. Thank God they are. They need to do more, though. I think he's very talented.
Once defeated me.
Yeah. Tells you how talented he was.
It's a springboard to a success.
Do you want to even bother talking about this Asuka promo with Naomi?
Sure.
Okay.
So Asuka was interviewed by Kayla, who, of course, led off with the question of why she returned last week. Naomi interrupted.
Why'd she return? It's her fucking job. Hello?
Naomi interrupts and asks why she came back. Why'd she do it? So it's been an entire week in storyline, and they haven't spoken to each other. They haven't seen each other on the road.
Not yet.
So Asuka says she doesn't understand the Iconics because of their accent. Then I love when Naomi does this. She gets in Asuka's face. She's like, you know what? I feel I think I can feel it. You got the glow. And then smiles. And then they do some English comedy, and Kayla stares on.
The New Day was cringing over this segment. That's how cringeworthy it was. It's very, very, very bad.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Asuka's mind is elsewhere with the recent earthquake.
I don't think that's what's going on here, Tom. Let's talk about the main event.
Brie Bella versus Maurice here in 2018. Daniel Bryan playing cheerleader for Brie here. Yep.
Yeah?
That's what we got going on. So Maurice powders repeatedly until Brie calls her a coward. Miz, of course, takes the mic to stall, and he convinces the plebeians to play along. Coward? You think we're cowards? Of course the crowd cheers. You think my wife's a coward? Of course they cheer. He says this city doesn't deserve this match. He decides they're leaving. This match is over. They go up the rampway. Brie gives chase. Like, the Miz and Maurice didn't imagine that Daniel Bryan and Brie may just take offense to this and give chase to them. They didn't even look back at all. Nope. They turn their backs to him and walk up the ramp. Give me a break. So Brie drags Maurice by her hair back to the ring, where a Miz distraction allows her to land a kick. Maurice, that is. Brie fights back, locks up the yes lock. Miz pulls her by the leg. She takes a flat back bump to the floor.
God.
And then Daniel Bryan chases the Miz down, beats him repeatedly. He landed, this is like the best yes kicks I've seen in ages.
Yeah, I wonder fucking why. He yanked Brie so hard. This is like Randy Orton giving the Sings the back suplex on the table. He yanked her like she was a giant adult, and she's like a tiny female, and she just goes fucking flying, lands on her back first on the ground. If you watch it, Miz's immediate reaction is he like squats down real close to her, and he puts his hand up like, oh fuck, I'm sorry. And that's right when Daniel Bryan attacks him. He broke character because he nearly killed Brie, and then Bryan kicked the shit out of him.
It was awesome. He kicked him so fast in the ropes repeatedly, over and over and over again. And eventually, my notes kind of give out here. Bryan's punching Miz in the ropes, and he is tossed to the outside, nails Brie. He's checking on her. Miz comes over, attacks him, beats him down for a second. Maurice beats up Brie inside the ring. And then my notes die, Brian.
So finally, he goes to punch Miz in the face. Miz flinches, and Brie punches him in the face. Bryan clotheslines Miz outside. Hot angle. Thought it was the best thing on the show. And a good build to a pay-per-view match where it appears from watching this match, the men are going to do all of the work.
Yeah.
There you go. And that leads us to Miz and Mrs.
Wonder what happened in the rest of my notes there.
Dude, hell if I know.
It's bizarre.
I never know what's going on over there. I just hear children crying.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
My notes do, however, say squiggly line or whatever that is. Finn. Used to be in like comic books.
It's
You
weird.
gonna do this chopping block?
I figure we do Miz and Mrs. first, and then we can
Oh.
do the chopping blocks and
All right.
sort of,
No problem. So we have Miz and Mrs. here, and this is episode 4. We have watched 3 previously. Miz shows up with a giant helmet strapped camera system at the house at Chateau Marmiz, set up for the delivery room so that he can get all the best angles of this baby popping out. Maurice says that he looks like he's going mining with a dildo on his head. We find out they don't want Marjo in the delivery room. Maurice has not let her know that yet. And then they play pretend delivery with a stuffed animal with the camera on. Miz out of control here in this opening segment.
The people that write Miz and Mrs., I don't know how much money it would cost to hire them to write Raw and SmackDown, but I mean, $2.3 billion, like, you can afford to actually hire some good writers. Like, the stories on this show are so simple, but they're good, and you really like the characters. Miz is so fucking likable here on this show. Dolph Ziggler shows up a little bit later, like, it comes across like such a nice, great guy, likable. Like, you've never seen this side of them ever in the entire time they've ever worked for WWE, babyface or heel. It's incredible. It's like these people actually know how to write a babyface, which is the one thing that nobody in WWE can do.
So Miz goes home to Cleveland and he gets to cut a promo for the Cleveland Cavs. Of course, Miz's father also in the area, his mother also in the area, accompanying him. They do a radio spot where essentially his dad lets us know that out of all the wrestlers that have ever been, his favorite superstar is The Rock, and it always will be. Says how great of a talker The Rock is. So Miz is kind of upset by this a little bit. But
I was howling. His dad's favorite wrestler is The Rock. And even his dad knows that Miz is a great talker, but he's not a great promo. And Miz is so mad about this. It's like, well, dude, there's a difference. Talking and cutting a money promo are two totally different things.
So Miz says that essentially his dad's never told him that he's proud of him. And I thought I saw where this was going. But Marjo, back at Chateau Marmiz. Well, by the way, Marjo was wearing a shirt that at one point, I just saw her walking up the steps. I looked away for a second. I saw her walking up the steps. And I had to rewind because I was like, what? Why is there somebody wearing a referee's shirt?
That's what I thought.
Like, what the fuck? Who is it? Like, is it Dolph? Is he just hanging out there? He's like wearing a cut-off ref shirt. What is this? But no, it was her actual clothing. Terrible choice in a design there. So Marjo asks about the delivery, the scheduled C-section. Maurice tries to let her know that she wants it to be a private moment. And essentially Marjo says no, she's going to be there. So then we go to a Raw in Cleveland, and there's a big welcome home mural to the Miz. Miz approaches the backstage design lady, I believe her name was Julie, to hide the aforementioned camera into a piece of clothing. And this is where Dolph and Tyler Breeze make an appearance as well.
Yeah, this is where Dolph shows up, and he's like a totally rational, logical, level-headed person. And he's just like, what did Maurice say? And Miz goes, no. And he's like, well, hello. He's right.
Yeah. Well, Miz is, as can be expected, an excitable, soon-to-be father. You know, I mean, what do you expect? But there's his buddy.
What do I expect? I expect that you ask your wife, and if she doesn't want a goddamn camera in her vagina, then you don't do it.
Well, I don't think it was going to go inside.
I was going to go inside, but it was going to point right at it when the baby came out. Wasn't he there when Hulk Hogan told the locker room to be careful what you film? Come on.
It was a scary thought etched in my mind, I guess.
Anyway.
That image. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, yet horrific. So Maurice takes her mom to lunch and buys her a Louis Vuitton bag and then tells her that her and Mike want to be alone for the delivery. And Marjo initially does not look very pleased. And Maurice at this time also says, like, I need you to stay at the house and, you know, you can come the next day to see the baby. And Marjo says, look, the thing I am most worried about in life is that you are happy, Maurice.
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, I'm happy.
Hey, they built this up so big.
But
And then finally Marjo just goes, okay.
But I need shoes with this bag.
Yes. As I was saying, they built it up like it was such a big deal. And at the end of the day, Marjo's like, okay, just buy me some shoes.
So then we have Miz
Conflict.
TV. Consequence.
Yes.
So we have Miz TV on Raw. He gets a welcome home chance and then cuts him off by saying, I live in LA, like a true heel. He asks his mom later on as they're walking the street if she enjoyed it. And she goes, yeah, your match was great. And then he's like, Mom, I didn't have a match.
I loved
I
it.
just did Miz TV.
It's fucking hilarious. This guy just gets buried by everybody, including his own family.
Oh. This would be exactly how my family would react if I was a successful wrestler. So Miz goes to the bar and his dad wants to introduce him to all of his friends, of course. And instead of being able to eat with his family and have some alone time, it's the Miz just filled with hanging out with his dad's buddies and them telling him how much his dad appreciates him and how proud he is. And his dad, again here, awesome. He's talking to his friends and he says, this is my favorite picture of the Miz. And he pulls out a trading card and it's got like a digitized drawing of the Miz on it.
His dad's
That's
the
your
best.
favorite picture.
Yeah. I also love the idea that, like, in real life, Miz is allegedly there and he's being all nice to these people. And then these people go and watch his reality show and he's like, fuck, I gotta hang around all these shitheads and sign autographs for everybody. I just want to be alone.
Well, he didn't say that.
He made it pretty clear he didn't want to do this. He was
very
forced.
he was very diplomatic about it. He was telling the truth. If he didn't, he probably didn't want to. He'd probably rather just be with his family, but, it made his dad happy, so he did it.
I do love that he wants to be with his family so much, and all they do is fucking bury him.
Yeah, it makes him even more sympathetic, right? So Miz gives Maurice a ring with the name of their child on it, which we don't know yet at this point. They both weep. They're a great couple. How can you watch this and root
It's
against
impossible.
them?
Like, why are we booing them on SmackDown? They should be the baby faces.
I'm not.
Did you notice, by the way, that in the main event of SmackDown, I can't remember what happened, but Corey Graves referred to Brie Bella as a psychopath. There's no way that's a coincidence. Just like the Fables.
They go to the hospital, and Brian, it's go time.
Oh, God.
As Maurice's water has broken.
I nearly wept for like a number of reasons.
I did weep, actually. And it's time to have the baby. Or so we thought, as we face an 8-hour delay because Maurice ate too much macaroni and cheese, Brian. A throwback to the truffle pasta craving she suffered from in an earlier episode. It has come back to bite her. She has flown too close to the sun, not on the wings of pastrami, but this time on the wings of fromage.
Sure.
So, eventually, as Mike has his camera in tow, we see the seconds born onto this earth. Just a beautiful sight. Monroe sky. This moment would be hard to surpass with any footage anywhere. I mean, a freshly born, newly born life. Just amazing, really. It's beautiful.
It was lovely. All babies look the same, though. You know what I mean? I say that as having just had one. They all look the
that's not
same.
true. No,
They all look like little old men, including mine. They don't get cute until later.
I've seen some toddlers that look like little old men as well.
Listen,
So-
when Miz goes, people
Hell,
always...
wait a minute. Aren't you a little old man?
Get out of here. Miz goes, people always say, you change after you have a child. He says, it's true. It's absolutely true. Okay? So as a father, I'll say this. That is absolutely true. But what is also absolutely true is every baby looks the same. They all look like little old men. They don't get cute until later. They'll listen, everybody. When you have a child, you're going to talk about how beautiful and cute the child is. But in reality, it's a little old man.
Yeah.
It takes a while for them to get cute.
Let's go see the baby.
God, when Paisley came out, I swear to God, she came out a little old man. Now, she's a really cute little girl. But she was born a little old man. It happens to everybody. It's weird.
Speak for yourself.
Well, once they clean them all up and put them in their cute
You were
clothes.
born a little old man, and now you've turned into a little baby girl.
I'm Benjamin buttoning it backwards.
Yeah. I'm buttoning it in other ways.
So anyway, that was that.
So
I liked the show. I thought it was great. Totally turned
Yeah.
the corner on The Miz. But only on this show. It's like the total opposite on the actual television show. It's weird. They just don't know how to do anything on that show.
I don't think you can any longer say that he what would it be? Uses a soft style after that pull to the floor.
Yeah, the one person he actually nearly kills, it's a woman. All right, let's do this chopping block. Who the hell's left?
We got an email from Resnick or what?
I think we got one last week, but we're still like a week behind. Let's see what
I think he sent one like in the middle.
Yeah, let's see what he's updated us with. I mean, we've been on and off here. Chop and block update. 7 days ago. So, here are the survivors. Who did we cut last week, by the way? Do you remember? Anyway, survivors. AJ Styles. Alexander Wolf. Oh, that's right. We spared Sanity, remember?
And then they didn't even show up this week.
Yeah. Dude, it's over already. They're chopped.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what it was? I was gone.
Wait,
so
hold on a second.
They lost last week to Rusev Day. Is that what happened?
Yes.
So they're somehow going to be spared because of
No,
that?
they're not going to be spared. They're out of here. I
That's
told
it?
you I'd spare them until they lost. And they did. So yeah, they're gone, dude. That's it. That's a chop. We're done. You want to do it?
No.
I was going to double check just to make sure that they actually lost last week, but now I can't find...
They lost to Rusev Day, did they not?
There was some sort of match. Yeah, Hell in a Cell build continues. Yeah, I think it was like the three-way, and Rusev Day won. So yeah, they're out of here. Sanity. All...
Wait, do it one at a time. Come on.
Okay, we'll do one at a time. Alexander Wolf,
You're chopped.
you have been chopped. Eric Young, you have been chopped. And Killian Dane, my love, you have been chopped! It makes me very sad because I'm a big fan. They're out of here. 3 down in 1 day. Not a lot left here. Not a lot left. But I did promise somebody. I promised somebody over StarCast weekend. They came up to me and they said, literally, like, they just ran up to me. And they're like, Brian, have you heard Big Cass's new name on the Indies? And I said, no. I said, Big Cass. He's got to be chopped, right? I said, I'll chop that fucking guy again. So off they go. And then, like, 24 hours later, the same guy runs back up to me and he says, he's got another new name. Do you want to guess what it is? I said, it can't be worse than Big Cass. They said, he's now known as Big C. He's got to be chopped again, right? I said, hell yeah. So Big Cass, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for the 7th time, Big Cass, you have been chopped! There we go. Easy. See how easy this is?
Whoa. You gotta chop Big Kaz and Big C.
Go for it. You chop them.
No, you just chop Big Kaz.
Okay.
You ask me to chop them.
You chop the other two.
Okay. Big C, you've been chopped. And Big Kaz, for the 9th time, you've been chopped.
No one is going to surpass this. He's running away with it now.
Carmella's close.
Carmella's close, but I mean, seriously, like, she was chopped like 6 times on the same day. So.
Vintner has been chopped more than once.
There's a lot of people
Aiden
chopped.
English chopped multiple times.
I'm sad we chopped
Asuka
Truth.
chopped multiple times.
And I want him back, but it's too late.
We could chop him again.
Pecky was chopped way back on June 20th. Can you imagine? It's crazy to look at this list. Anyway, let's do the food review.
Yeah. So who do we have left on the chopping block there?
No, hold on a second. All right, the remainder. The survivors. AJ Styles, Cesaro, Charlotte, Jeff Hardy. Did we chop the Usos? Not yet.
No.
Kane, Killian Dane, Miz.
No. Killian Dane is out.
Oh, yeah, he's gone. Miz, Peyton, Randy Orton, Rusev, Samoa Joe, and Sheamus.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't think... Tom... Well, we'll talk about it later. I mean, I think we should chop Kane because I don't think he's coming back. He's the mayor.
Whoa.
He's the mayor, dude. He can't win by default because he's no longer on the show. Like, if he's gone, he's got to be
we'll
gone.
Talk about it later.
All right.
Right.
All right. Food review.
So, yeah.
You explain it.
Well, explain it. What is there to explain? We pick a random.
I mean, explain
WWE
why we
food
picked what we picked.
sponsor. Why? Well, I don't know. Because we got a limited choice. KFC.
Yeah, it was
They've
KFC.
sponsored WWE many times. I believe they're currently a sponsor. If you remember back, there was that horrific promo with Dolph Ziggler dressed up like the Colonel, the 10-minute commercial and fight.
That's the one that you're going to remember first off?
Well, no, I'm going to get to the other one, okay? I'm setting it up. This is the opener.
I see.
Yeah. Would you back off?
All
Right? I know how to book a segment here.
I'll stand by.
So we had, I'm in Gorilla, okay? Sit down. So we had, now you screwed me up, Brian.
I'll start over again. I'll edit it.
We had I was talking about that commercial. It was Dolph Ziggler and the Miz. Dolph Ziggler dressed up like the Colonel. Miz dressed up like the Chicken. They get into a fight. Dolph wins. I think it was his only win over like a 6-month span in a WWE ring. And then we had our boy, the buddy of the aforechopped, Big Kaz, Big C, Big Cass, old Enzo. And what did old Enzo do? Well, he got down and dirty, Brian, and let's be frank here, he fucked that chicken.
That's what happened, dude. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, this is a PG show. Their sponsor was cool with that. Give us Enzo. Have him fuck this fried chicken. We'll make $1 million.
Wait a minute. Now that I think about it, I hope that was mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Oh, get out of here. So you chose Kentucky Fried Chicken. You want to go first?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't care. Your call.
Go for it.
Okay, so the way that this went down was I went to KFC, and it's about, 10-minute drive from my house. So I approached. It was 10 p.m. in the evening. I had just finished an upper body workout so that I could gorge myself here. And Brian, at the end of this transaction, I had spent $20 here at KFC. $20 on this meal. Virtually twice what I paid at Domino's. Or no. Well, I guess it would be $5 more. But still.
A lot of money.
Got a lot more for my money at old Domino's Pizza there. So at KFC, the challengers that I was presented with were the Nashville Hot Chicken Little, the Georgia Gold Tenders bucket or basket, and the Dill Pickle Sandwich here to face me in this gauntlet match. We opened up with Nashville Hot Chicken Little. Came down to the ring, a small rectangle of bread adorned with sesame seeds encompassing an intermittently crispy, yet also retaining the texture of a softened 81 Chevy road tire, possibly covered in oil from the same vehicle, in the guise of hot sauce here from the country music capital. Oily beyond belief. I was not impressed. I will say this once again. I was not impressed by its performance upon my initial bite. And as the sandwich felt the pressure of my teeth, it had no choice but to tap out. But not after unleashing a surprise flurry of pickles and mayonnaise. And as it left the ring, coming next in this gauntlet match was Georgia Gold tenders being led to the mouth by a pickle train and a nice mouth-watering biscuit. And the biscuit got involved about midway through, was taken out after being humiliated with a sauce dressing. Upsetting to see the Georgia Gold was ill-prepared and only had sauce tanner on one side of the body, leading to a never sought out taste of bland, yet bitter and dry. Aesthetically, this was the most pleasing of the challengers. This dish was your typical body guy with a delicious mustard-based sauce on the exterior to hide its shortcomings in execution. And I finished the subpar challenger and readied myself for the final battle, this time against the dill pickle sandwich, which came in with strong fundamentals. A very strong but fluid pickle taste, solid core of lean mass, basic yet tried and true hamburger bun exterior. My initial efforts to lock up the sandwich were met with resistance as the sandwich surprised me with its solid base and conditioning. But as the war waged on, I was able to dig deep and come up large in intestinal fortitude as I wore down the challenger bite by bite. At the end of the day, with molar power, the sandwich engaged me in a tough struggle. However, I cannot recommend booking any of these three challengers to face me on a regular basis. Perhaps if their booking fee drops in the future, they could be featured more regularly on my shows, but I just don't foresee it happening, Brian.
Well, I'll make it quick. So, you told me last night at like 9:30 we do KFC. I had no time to go to KFC today. And so I went to KFC last night at 10:10 p.m. The one in Woodinville was open until 11. So I got there at 10:10. The dining area was closed. I had to go through the drive-thru. I go through the drive-thru. I look at the menu.
Hold on. You
Yes.
say that like it's a bad thing? You really wanted to go in?
Well, then I have to take it all the way home and it might get cold. I'd rather just go in and eat. But anyway, go through the drive-in. I'm looking at the menu. There's all this stuff. Literally, the lady goes, "May I take your order?" And before I could say anything, she says, "Just so you know, we're in our late night menu, and so we have limited offerings." I was like, hold on a second. Your fucking late night menu? You're open till 11. Like, when does a late night menu start? 10? So for like 1 hour, you're on a limited menu? I said, "What do you got?" I swear to God, she rattles off like 5 things. That's all they've got in the entire store for me to try. By the way, none of it's fried chicken. So if I'd wanted fried chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's not part of the fucking late night menu at 10 o'clock p.m. So I said, I'll have the crispy kernel sandwich.
That's chicken.
Not fried chicken, like a bucket of fried chicken.
What crispy? What is it? What kind?
You're missing the point. When I say go get
What?
when I say go get fried chicken for dinner, you're gonna go get a bucket of chicken. You're not gonna get a chicken sandwich, Tom. That's what Kentucky Fried Chicken is known for.
Of them.
Is a bucket of chicken.
I got 2 chicken sandwiches.
So I got the Colonel's crispy sandwich. I got 3-piece chicken strips. And I got the only other thing they had left in the building, which was potato wedges.
What are chicken strips? That's not...
Chicken fingers. Tom, you're killing me. Let me finish this. So, I take everything home. The first thing I try eating is the chicken strips. So, the first chicken strip, there's 3 chicken strips. The first chicken strip, swear to God, it ain't nothing but breading. There's not a piece of chicken in that chicken strip. It's hard as a rock. I had to get out like a hammer and a fucking nail
Come
to
on.
break that thing apart.
A chisel?
So that fucking was...
Like the Miz with his mining helmet
Yes. The second two, there was a little chicken, but it was still hard as a rock. Then I tried the potato wedges, okay?
Oh.
The potato wedges I could have used as the chisel. They're so fucking hard. I broke off 2 teeth eating these potato wedges. And finally, the Colonel crispy chicken sandwich, I'll give him credit. The chicken was moist. It was well cooked. Kind of started to feel a little bit like Enzo as it melted in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And I devoured that chicken sandwich. So, point of this is, I had a bad customer experience. The only good thing that I had was the crispy Colonel sandwich. The chicken fingers fucking sucked. The potato wedges fucking sucked. I'm pretty sure they'd been cooked 9 hours earlier. That's why they were left in the fucking late night menu at 10:10 p.m. I don't recommend Kentucky Fried Chicken. I may never go back there again.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, you heard me. That was my experience.
Weren't you all about the fried chicken in New Orleans?
I was all...
Remember, that's where we ate. What was that? What was the name of that place?
It's supposed to be good, but it just wasn't. You understand?
It's supposed to be good? Oh, really?
Yeah.
You ever gone to a place where they're like, hey, our food's supposed to suck? This is supposed to taste like shit?
Jesus. And then I go to the Kentucky Fried Chicken website, and I gotta put this picture up on the front page with this show. There's a young boy on the couch who appears to be, 12.
Masawa?
And then there's a young girl who, I don't know what age she would be, but they're both sitting on the couch, and the fucking Colonel is peeking his head out from behind the couch.
I see.
The creepiest fucking manner
there's
ever.
3 Colonels there.
Yeah. Anyway.
What's up with that?
Yeah, not a big fan of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think the Colonel here is played by Kevin Sullivan, by the way. I'm not sure.
What's next?
Fuck if I know. Let me know
Subway.
before Tuesday at 9:45 next time.
I think Subway
Maybe, yeah.
is a sponsor.
Hey, listen, let's do some plugs here.
Oh, yeah. So Friday, I will be appearing for AIW Wrestling in Cleveland, Ohio, Mount Carmel Church. Check it out. Me versus Matt Justice versus Nick Gage versus Kyle the Beast in a 4-way. Good old scrap fight. And then Sunday, I will be appearing for Beyond Wrestling in East Greenwich, Rhode Island at Somebody's Farewell, probably, as I will be taking on Hot Sauce Tracy Williams for the Powerbomb TV independent title. I'm going to choke him unconscious, and then, Brian, I'm going to force him to eat a Marlboro Red. That's my goal, yeah. It's going to be a rough night. Next Saturday, I will be appearing for Black Label Pro in Crown Point, Indiana. Darkest Timeline Championship Tournament. My first round match will be against Jake Parnell. After I beat him, I'm going to go to the finals. I'm going to win that tournament again. I'm taking home that championship for the second time. Then October 4th, MLW Fury Road. We'll see what happens there. Get your tickets now. In New York City, once again. And then the following week, I'll be appearing for Prestige Wrestling in Hermiston, Oregon. I don't know who I'm facing. I don't know what I'm doing. But I promise you'll like it if you're there and you have low expectations.
All right, everybody, check it out. At Filthy Tom Lawler on Twitter. I'm up at Brian Alvarez. We got a lot of shows coming up. A lot more to come, so check it out. And we're out of here. We'll talk to you again after a while.